Hey guys, happy Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whenever you watch this. I just wanted to run through a few questions that we got from the survey that we took in class today, and just give you my quick answers, my quick impressions, and point you in the right direction for a few things. I have also made a couple of short, like 1 minute, 2 minute walkthrough videos already up on the YouTube channel about like where to go to find work, how to inbox your teachers, and so if there's more, and if you like those, and if you have any special requests for those, especially about technology stuff, please let me know, and I will see what I can do. So I have typed these questions out. I gotta be honest, I haven't thought of what I'm going to say for the answer yet, but we'll see how it goes. Let's get on it. Okay, one question that I had a couple people ask was, I don't have an X class, right? Like I don't have a period 4 class. I don't have math. What's going on with that? There are two big answers for that. Okay, one is if you literally don't have a class on your schedule, then you need to reach out to Miss Williams, who's the guidance counselor. If you don't know how to, let me know, and I can either contact or make that contact for you. And the other thing is, if you have on your schedule a teacher who is actually like an administrator at Parkland, like Mr. Hardy, who's the principal, Ms. Bohr, who's an assistant principal, Ms. Johnson, maybe, who's in one of our assistant principals, Ms. McCrimmon, our assistant principal, or Mr. Cowden, assistant principal, you might actually have a teacher that just doesn't have their school district account set up yet, so they don't have access. If that is the case, and I know particularly with freshmen that ninth in math, the math is definitely that case. The answer for that part is to just hang in there. You have not missed anything, and to just keep checking back. Hopefully next week, these new teachers will have their accounts in place and be able to start adding stuff to their Canvas and posting stuff. So just keep checking back on Canvas, on the Canvas courses. Once you see some updates, they are coming, and you have not missed anything yet. Next question: do you recommend earbuds? So, I'm keeping all these questions in here because they all talk about certain things, and this one is really about like what's the environment that works best for me. And I think that there isn't a right or wrong answer for this. But if you are in a space that has a lot of noise, like external noise, maybe some isolation will help you focus and let you hear better especially when you're in live classes, but even when you're just working. Me personally, like I do enjoy the headphones when my wife and I are both teaching. And then it's up to like this, the question was specifically about earbuds. I don't know if earbuds versus headphones. I can tell you, like, if you are wearing them for longer periods of time, if you can get some of the softer headphones, they actually, like, they'll feel a little bit better. But if you can get the sculpted earbuds that fit into the ear canal, especially the ones that have like those changeable rubber tips, so you can get the different sizes so that it like fits nice in your ear. Those can actually even be less stress on your physical body, so you end up being more comfortable. So do I recommend them? I would say like it's totally about it's about two things. It's about, number one, can you hear the stuff, right? Like does your computer have good speakers? Is there stuff going on around you that maybe prevents you from doing that? And then lastly, like, how do you work? Do you work well when you're really super focused or not? And I think those are the things that are going to drive whether you should have them or not. I'm a big fan when I'm working and on one thing at a time. I love the headphones and the music, and that just kind of like drives me forward. When I'm doing like 4 or 5 things at a time, I actually don't like them as much personally. Next question: why is attendance taken on Flex Friday when we don't have class? And I left this in here because here's the real answer. I don't have an answer for you. And I wanted to show you guys that because this is like such a brand new situation. And I want you to give I want you to give yourself the benefit of the doubt, and I want you to give everybody else the benefit of the doubt too. So like our state, our school district, our school, the individual teachers, we're all trying to figure out what's going to be the best thing for everybody. And we might not have all the answers figured out, but hang with us, and please know that it's okay. It's okay to not know something, and it's okay to admit that and say that. And I can tell you right now, I do not have a good answer for why we take attendance on Friday when we don't have class. But, and the answer to that might change as we go along. And that's the reason I wanted to keep this in here, even though I don't actually have an answer for you, just to show you that sometimes we can move through this even if we don't have answers. Next question. Can we email with Office 365? To the best of my knowledge, you should be able to. I did not make a little short walkthrough video for this because it looks different on the staff accounts than it does the student accounts. But it's like as far as I know, if you go to just like office.com and then log in with your school email, the wfcsstudents.net, you should be able to get onto Outlook from within office.com, and you should be able to use email that way. But unfortunately, I can't test it and verify it, but I think it should be. It's one of those weird dual accounts. You have a Google Drive, you have Google folders, but then it's not Gmail. It should be Microsoft. So using office.com and using Outlook. Outlook is the email within that. You should be able to, but don't quote me on that. But if you want to give it a shot, that's where you go. Just go to office.com, but use your student email address for that. What's up next? How am I supposed to make friends? And I would expand this question to not just how am I supposed to make friends, because maybe you already have friends, but how am I supposed to connect with people? We're getting out of the rhythm. Like, we're not seeing each other every day, which is just part and parcel of going through school and growing up, especially in your adolescence. And then, like, honestly, we're not even seeing each other that much outside of school either, because we're just, hopefully everyone's being safe and being careful about who they're in contact with. And so the bigger question is, like, what do we do in this time that, like, is changing and has all these new challenges? And, like, I don't have an answer for this particularly either. However, like, if you notice in our discussion board, that was kind of one of the things I wrote about. What I can suggest is that there are ways to connect with other people, and one of them is in your live classes. Just the more that you participate, the more that you turn the cameras on, like, look in the chat, and hopefully you'll have some opportunities to interact with some kids in a less structured way within the school system. And honestly, now that I'm, like, talking out loud, maybe that's something that I can build into English class, because I'm a big proponent of that as well, that we need to connect with each other. And, like, usually we're doing it face to face, and then we connect with the larger world with our literature and our reading. But maybe right now we need to connect with each other a little bit more. And so thank you for asking that, whoever asked that. I really appreciate you putting that out there. It's a huge thing to put out there. And I think that, like, the big takeaway from this is that we're all kind of trying to figure out how to maintain our humanity in this time that really, like, feels a little inhuman. And the only way we can do it is if we just keep trying things, and we keep trying things together. And last but not least, how long will we be doing online learning? And I put this back to back with this question because I think it speaks to the same thing. This is yet another question that I do not have an answer for. All right, the answer depends on so many different factors. It depends on health and safety factors. It depends on what the state and the district do. So many other things, right? So, like, definitely, like, the thing that is good is that we know it will at least be this first 9 weeks. I could make a guess about second 9 weeks, but I don't think that's a good thing to do right now. What I would like to do instead is ask a question about not school, but the circumstances that have led up to this, which has been the COVID virus and its effects, and how it has been transmitted, and what that has caused to our sort of, like, daily behavior patterns. And the question I would throw back is, what happens if we don't? If we don't go back to school second 9 weeks? If we don't go back to school this year, right? If you cannot go to big gatherings, if you have to keep being separated from friends and family members, how are you going to manage and cope with that? Instead of, I feel like a lot of times we're just kind of waiting for, when this goes back to normal, then we'll just keep on going. And a lot of times what I don't hear in larger conversations in the media, in the world, is, what happens if that doesn't happen? Which is that's kind of bleak, right? But even, and that's also kind of looks so far into the future, but like right now, I can get in that mindset of just being delaying and just avoiding things, right? Hey, eventually it's going to all go back. And then when it all goes back, I get to do what I always did, and no big deal. Whereas I could also personally ask myself the kinds of questions like, now that everything is different, why don't I take this moment to ask myself, what's important to me? How can I change that? How can I still get the things that are important? And so, once again, I don't have a great answer for it, but I want to have these kinds of conversations, and I want to show you that it's okay to just say, hey, these are the things I'm anxious about. This is what I'm thinking about. And I think that particularly in this moment, I have definitely been in that mindset where yeah, it's all over, and then we're just going to go do this, instead of saying, in the meantime, how do I live my life the best way I can? In the meantime, how do I still make connections with people? In the meantime, how do I still stay safe? And oh my gosh, how do I continue to be safe and not go into those old patterns? Also, are there any old patterns that I want to break? And the answer to that question is yes. And what a great time to just sort of maybe reestablish who you are in the midst of hey, maybe this is here for a while, right? Maybe we don't have a vaccine. Maybe this takes 2 or 3 years to go back to quote unquote normal. And then my larger question is normal worth it? Instead of going back to normal, maybe we can go forward to something a little bit better. And how do we do that? How do we define what those important things are individually and as a community, a culture, society, all that kind of good stuff too. Which is a long-winded way of saying, we know what the next 9 weeks is going to look like. And how can we be positive and proactive in doing things to put us in the best place at the end of that 9 weeks to make a pivot in whichever direction we need to. And maybe that's what we'll work on. Maybe that's we'll spend some time doing that. I don't know. So if you have any more questions, please let me know. But once again, remember, half of these questions I do not have official answers for. So I am not nearly the authority that you need me to be in certain situations. But what I am is a real human being who can share thoughts and feelings and concerns, and then give you the authoritative answers when I actually do have them. So take care, have a nice Flex Friday and a good weekend, and let me know if you have any questions.